In this video, I'm going to compare these Diode Dynamics RGBW demon eyes that are supposed to be the brightest on the market against the ones that I normally use. We're going to test the light output here, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about how to break some rules and, I don't know, do things the way we're not supposed to. It's all coming up. All right, so here's the brand new updated version of the Pro series of the RGBW demon eyes from Diode Dynamics. I'm gonna do some stuff on this video. I'm gonna show you how to chop up some of the wires, control them with a different controller, and do all sorts of other stuff, even some lighting output tests. So that is coming up, but for now, let's just take a look inside this box. So first off, we've got our instructions and all the things that smart people should read, and check out the size of this driver. Now this thing is only as big as it needs to be, but they know they want to keep it as small as it can be as well. And then finally, we've got this 6-pin JST connector, which tells me that they're planning on incorporating some sort of a dedicated amber function to this at some point. And this is probably the most important part. This is the M8 connector. This is so that as you are connecting this thing up to, let's say, a Diode Dynamics RGB controller, it's gonna have just plug and play. It's got 5 pins inside. So that's actually, to correct myself, RGBW. That is what you're gonna get out of it. Now, this is just one extension cable, but I chopped the ends of it off and I stripped them, and that's how you're gonna get access to the 5 wires inside. So again, RGBW, we've got a black wire for power, and we've got red, green, and blue, and a white wire for the dedicated white chip that's on there. I chopped the end of this thing off so that I could get direct access to plug it into my XK Chrome controller, and that is gonna be used in the little showcase later as I put these things side by side with the typical 3-watt LEDs I always use. So the main reason that I bring this thing up is because I would love to see a company as capable as Diode Dynamics come up with a drop-in harness for us that has little pigtails like this. So let's say that we had a drop-in harness that you could just lay right into the engine bay. It hooks up at the main controller near the battery, and then it would like go down to the first headlight, let's say passenger side, over to the driver's light. And at the end of the cool little harness that we have, you would have a pigtail coming off the end just like that. And that would give you the ability to hook up any RGBW product that's out there, or in my case, I usually only do RGB. I could hook that thing up by simply just disconnecting this little M8 connector. Got that nice solid connection that you could hear as I undid it there, and then just wire this up to, let's say, angel eyes or demon eyes or some kind of other strip that I have inside the lights, and it could just plug right into a drop-in harness. I would love to see Diode Dynamics make that. Comment below in this video if you agree with me. I'm trying to get Paul to do it, so Paul, if you're watching, bro, we gotta do this. We gotta make it happen. So again, let's lay everything out. I've got a demon eye itself. That's the 18-watt demon eye. Then we've got the extension wire that I've already chopped up a little bit. We've got our driver, and we've even got a power wire with a little special connector there. I don't really know where that thing's supposed to plug into. And then we got that for the other side. We also have these little connectors that can go if you've got something like a little MH1, mini H1 projector. Those mounts actually go right here on the top. I'm not gonna show you all that. That's not super important for this video. I more just wanna compare this type of demon eye with this type of demon eye. I'm gonna do a side-by-side in just a second. If you look at them up close, they're very different. This one is just one LED and it has different stuff going on inside. This one has a ton of individual little LEDs on there. So definitely a completely different approach to the same problem. Okay, we got everything dialed in right now. So I've got only 3 foot candles of light that is currently hitting that sensor right there, that little white sensor. And I've got my XK Glow hooked up with 2 different channels, and those 2 channels, as we could see here on my phone, zone 1 and zone 2. So let's see, zone 1, that is our Diode Dynamics. Zone 2 is automotive custom lighting demon eyes like I use in pretty much all of the GTR builds. We can see, if we look, I've got that sensor right above both of them. I've adjusted it left and right a bunch. I've moved it around so that it's just aiming straight up. One's not more in line with the other. And here we can check out our foot candle readings just under 500. So I'm gonna turn both off now. And the next test is gonna be kind of the big deal. So we've got the Diode Dynamics Zone 1, and that is reading 397 foot candles. So now we've got this automotive custom lighting one, and look at that, 101 foot candles. That is so crazy. 4 times the foot candles. And look at the difference just on camera, how you can tell. That's a little one, big dog. Crazy, crazy. I think at this point, since we're not taking readings, I mean, you can kind of see the foot candles when you have a blend of different colors are gonna be nowhere near as intense as when they're just full bore. And that was just a blend of white. That wasn't actually the dedicated chips. So here's a much better side by side because we don't see that guy with a big old ring around it right next to this impacting the output. So we could tell very, very different outputs. This thing is a monster. It's absolutely crazy. So if you thought that I was not promoting this, oh, I absolutely am. I use these all the time because they've just worked and they've been great. That, oh God. That just makes me rethink everything. These are the demon that I typically use, but the reason that I like to show you how to do all this stuff is because I'm controlling that XK Chrome unit simply by turning power on and off with this remote control. Now I can also turn on a second button here, and that's gonna override the little command that's saved inside of XK Chrome, the app, and turn on just the demon here. So we've got one animation you could see flashing, push a button, now it's going to a different one. I could use the diode dynamics, as you saw earlier, are 4 times as bright, and have it all hooked up to this remote control the same exact way. That's why I hack into the wires and I do things so that I can control my projects any way that I choose to. Even though I love Diode Dynamics and I love their products, I like the XK Chrome as my controller that I always use, and they happen to work perfectly with that. So like always, I just want to show you the different projects that I have, why I'm using these products. And you can see this is that 350Z job that we were talking about a while ago. And you can see all the etched craziness inside of those projectors. Big shout out to Jason Blair at Sinister Retro Works for hooking it up. I'm using these Diode Dynamics Pro Series Demon Eyes to do that particular job, and I'm excited about seeing how I can use them in some of the future jobs as well. I didn't use them on these, but let's check these guys out in nice little cinematic slow-mo so you get the idea of how Demon Eyes can come across even without any etching. Let's check it out.
There's like a mist out. I don't dare to run to you. What if I get swallowed up by something we can't see? I was out in the night when something grabbed me. I swear it hurt. Kind of felt like something cold-blooded stabbed me. The streets are playing with my mind. I'm losing everything in sight. Time stands still as we go blind.
I'm pretty excited about seeing what 18 watts compared with 3 is gonna look like in future projects that are similar to those ones back there. That's my Stage 4 GTR build. I don't even like making them, they take forever. Specifically the RGB stuff. It's very difficult because I like to get in there and change up all the wiring and make one company's component work with another one and another one and another one. It used to be back in the day that I would take rings like this when I used to buy these Angel Eyes, maybe like 10 years ago. I would take these things and I would actually have to cut them so that I could make Demon Eyes. I'm gonna show you what that will look like in comparison to today's Demon Eyes. So you'd have to find where the wires go in and cut right there and hope that it didn't just destroy the Angel Eyes, because back in the day, these things were very hard to get. So true story, I actually clipped that wrong and destroyed this one. I was supposed to leave the extra little dots on the edge, but I mean, this is what we had to do back then. There was no other option. There wasn't cool stuff out there specifically made for Demon Eyes. Nowhere near the same effect that we get today. And a lot of people ask me about using strips or rings, and there's just nothing quite like having a massively powerful LED to do a Demon Eye. I've got some etched lenses here. I want to hook those things up, and we are going to check out how these things look in comparison. But let's go with a different color. Let's go with red. So here is a honeycomb projector lens, and you can really see that thing just picks up on all of that light output, and that's just the little 3-watt LED. And so this thing is just lit up absolutely insane. The one that it's actually going to is this, and so that's gonna light up that etching on the S and the H really, really well. This one does a obviously good job as well. So it just depends on how these Demon Eyes are actually situated. And so I wanted to show them off inside of a regular projector as well as the GTR projector. And we'll just kind of look side by side on these, and then I'll swap them out because you saw how dim that thing looked when I put that little angel eye up to it. I'm going to put this thing the way I would basically mount it normally so that it hooks the light upward, and you can see that glare. Just crazy freaking bright. And that is the Diode Dynamics. Here is the 3 watt, and same deal. Just lights up so good. I mean, that bright of a demon eye, just in comparison to what it was back in the day, unless you were at the perfect angle, you wouldn't get the right reflection from inside of the light. And let's see what they look like side by side in the LED housings for this Nissan GTR. So that would be the Diode Dynamics, and that is the 3 watt. I'll swap them out. Curious how this will look. I don't get to find out until I edit this. On that note, huge shout out to Diode Dynamics for sending over those Pro Series Demon Eyes. I'm excited about using those in the future. And of course, like always, XK Chrome is my favorite controller, even though I'm sure the RGBW app from Diode Dynamics is amazing. I've never even used it, so I can't show that to you right now. Maybe on a future video we'll do that. I also use the Kia chip controller, so I'm gonna go ahead and link that up on that video right there. Check that out if you haven't already. It's one of my favorite controllers out there. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss future uploads. And I'll see you next time.